those who don't know, just give me the elevator pitch of what Warframe is. I think it's a pretty easy sell, right? Space Ninja?
Yeah.
I think that's all you got to say.
That's all you got to say.
But there is a story here.
Yeah. It's... well, what are we showing? Are we going to play? It looks like gameplay footage. Right, so it is a free-to-play third-person shooter. It borrows elements from Phantasy Star Online or Left 4 Dead. It's co-op focused. When we sort of got back to that original idea that you're talking about and said, what are we doing next for the studio? It looked like in order to do something that we could see our original vision for, the only choice for us was to go free-to-play. So this is a free game, and we've announced just recently that we're going to be bringing it to PlayStation 4, but it's in PC open beta right now.
Yeah, I've been playing that version for a while, and it seems like it started out as like kind of a grand experiment. Like, let's just try this single-player co-op thing, and it looks like it's just, you guys are adding new stuff all the time.
Absolutely.
I'm really enjoying the additions that I've been seeing just in the last few weeks.
Yeah, so just in the last few weeks, we added dojo building. We added this kind of new ancient structures that are the Orkin, the ancient civilization that came before the Tenno, and they're kind of these spaces that are trapped in the void, which is this sort of extra-dimensional space, yada yada, geek explanation, transductor coils. But the really cool thing that we added was the dojo building, and clans can work together and build basically like a clubhouse together. And it's not like, putting up furniture. It's like literally the elevator goes here and the rooms go here, and they all kind of participate, gather resources, and build up a cool area that they can hang out in. And it's also, you're talking about the grand experiment, that's the only place in the game right now you can do PvP. There's dueling rooms that you can build, and you can kind of kneel down and challenge each other and play, 3 rounds of like crazy, wacky, wall-running, acrobatic combat against your clanmates.
Well, I like that too. I mean, I love these characters, the Tenno. I want to talk about them because you kind of mentioned, you hit on something with like Left 4 Dead.
Yes.
It's a game with a very light story.
Yes.
But I feel like the fans always kind of look for it.
Yes,
they always try to find something. And I've actually been reading a lot of Wikipedia articles about like, what is the actual story? Like, who are these space ninjas and why are they fighting giant kind of bulky humanoid clone things?
Right.
I mean, will that story ever become, when you add more additions, will we get more of that? I'm very interested.
It's a great question, and that kind of took us by surprise because we had initially thought of this as just like a session-based co-op game, right? When we said, okay, let's do free-to-play, we saw tons and tons of PvP, but not a lot of PvE, not a lot of co-op focus. So we said, all right, let's draw a line in the sand. We're going to make a team-based game, and we're going to make it light on story. We're going to have maybe intro-outro cinematics, but we're really going to focus on the player story and the ninja combat and the wall running and all that experience. And players responded with, we want to know more. They're intrigued, like you are, with, why are all this talk of these ancient peoples and who are these Grineer? So what we did with the PlayStation 4 trailer is we introed the main villain, who's going to be the first boss. We've introed the idea that you've been sleeping for generations. We wanted to have, our Canadian manga game have a sense of history. So we've created this backstory that we're sort of slowly leaking out through what we hope to do is basically game events, weekly events in the game that kind of give people a little taste of lore, as well as give them a really cool gameplay objective to unlock new content.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at it, there's really not a lot of games that have this, you've never really seen this art direction before. I love it. It reminds me of Event Horizon and a million other things. I mean, like, you don't see this
Guyver and
very much so.
It has
definitely has an anime feel.
It definitely has an anime feel, and one of the things that took us by surprise, we're actually doing some interviews with some Japanese press today, and they're like, "Do you guys realize how big you are in Japan?" And we're like, "No, tell us. We want to hear." So, I think it's really interesting how our art director has taken influence. I jokingly call it Canadian manga because we have like wacky and weird coming from even the Metal Gear series, which we love, and the Guyver, even Power Rangers. Those are the influences that come into the art direction, and then we kind of try to balance it out with the less risky, weird thinking people that we have on the team, like me, like creative director, but it's just like creative wet blanket actually is what my title should be.
Well, also in terms of like free-to-plays go, not a lot of games are on this level. I mean, I've been playing
Thank
on
you
PC.
For saying that. Thank you.
Oh no, I mean, it's you're utilizing physics quality stuff on PC.
That's right. Yep.
Just the art direction is fantastic, and it comes through very much on the PC. Yep. How much of that can you carry over to the PS4?
All of it.
1-to-1?
I can expand, but I mean, that's the goal. I mean, the PlayStation 4 hardware is surprisingly awesome to work with. I'm a programmer originally, so I care deeply about graphics and deeply about the difficulty it takes developers. We're sort of mid-sized developer. We can't throw like 15 graphics programmers at the console. There's 2 shader programmers at DE right now, and I'm one of them. So we're a mid-sized company. This is an independent game that we're making. So we think the PlayStation 4 is really awesome to develop for. 3 months ago, Sony contacted us and said, this Warframe game's looking pretty cool. Would you like to bring it to next-gen console? And we're like, hell yeah, send us some kits. And wow. 3 months later, here we are at the show, demoing it for PlayStation 4. Wow, that's
a pretty quick turnaround.
That is a very quick turnaround because it is a pleasure to work with, and the SDKs and how it maps to what we're doing in Warframe is really awesome. And the really cool thing about Warframe from like the scope and the content size, we use like Diablo-style level generation, so the levels are never the same, right? And that was one of the things that we saw with co-op games where we play them so often, is that the veteran players get really pissed off at the new players because don't you know it's spawned there and you're supposed to go here and the strategy is this. So the procedural level generation lets us make it look really awesome, but really just by reassembling the chunks. So we've kind of done a few tricks to try to keep the graphic quality as high as possible for free to play.
And I noticed you've been just kind of adding more parts. Like, hey, that's a new part of the hull I haven't seen in that.
Absolutely.
That lovely ship.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that Sony is going to embrace that that idea that Warframe is a game that's kind of growing and evolving, right? Yeah. It's not going to be like, hey, there's Warframe 2 in a year. It would be, it's Warframe and it goes and it goes and it expands like we have been.
Right, and that brings me up to the free-to-play model.
Sure.
Which it uses. It's been working on PC for a while. We haven't really been seeing it on consoles. And we're entering this new generation where Sony's clearly embracing this new platform and this idea. How is it working for you guys? Do you still use your Platinum service, the way you buy Platinum? And then is that shared with Sony, or is it just all go to you guys?
It works like the same way Steam Wallet and that sort of thing. I mean, we still have to work out the details. I mean, it's only been 3 months. I have a meeting tomorrow morning where probably they'll tell me everything I said right now to use a lie. But that's how it works. It's like we are the publisher for this game, and we go through the Sony platform.
Yeah, well, I mean, for those who don't know, Digital Extremes has been around for years.
That's right.
Decades.
Yeah, man.
And it's really nice. It's very humbling to see you guys coming out with something that's truly your own. It was obviously a project that you guys started years ago.
This is a passion project for sure. We've been trying to make this game for a decade. Well, you said it. You saw it at E3 2005, right?
Yeah, right.
You saw the original vision.
Right, and when I saw this, I got really excited. I said, it's back. It's actually a thing.
It's actually going to happen.
It survived.
Yes, it survived.
And I'm just really happy to see where it's at right now.
Thank you for saying that.
Of course, I mean, it's just a fun game.
It is
fun.
And
I dig it. And
I
just want to make sure you guys are okay. I want to make sure you're getting your due.
Oh, I'm going to go off my tee if you keep talking so sweetly.
You deserve.
Yeah, we're doing really well. Warframe has taken us by surprise.
Good.
When we showed up in the top 10 of Steam, I was like, oh, there's going to be another shoe that drops soon, and everything's going to collapse, and it hasn't, and it's been building from there. And frankly, now people who said come back when you have a publisher are talking to us now. So it's sort of. It's having a snowball effect for the success of the game, and we hope that now we've grown the team. You know, probably when you saw it way back, there was probably like 1 or 2 tile sets, and now we have the resources that we can grow it out and make it the game that our players have been demanding. Show us the story. We want more locations. We need more enemy diversity. Well, now we're delivering that.
Excellent. Well, speaking of fans, we are going to be taking some questions from our Twitter
wall. Is there going to be a
wall.
nipple tweaking question? I saw that on the board actually before
you walked
over
we are doing
here.
exclusive nipple tweaking questions with Steve and Larson, I assume.
Hello.
I can only see your shoes.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
You guys are lovely.
Through one of our cameramen.
Whatever.
Give
me some Warframe questions, please.
Yes, we have a question from Carrot Monster. Warframe question, apropos. Will there be any additions or new gameplay elements to the console version?
Will there be any additions? Well, aside from like the controller features, which is really cool if you can check it out, there's a really wicked touchpad on the new DualShock, which I love, and people are doing gestures to cast all their special abilities for their Warframes. Aside from that, the truth is the best thing for us is to be able to focus it into one kind of cohesive game. So, I mean, in some ways, there's going to be Sony influence on that decision, but from the development perspective, we want to grow the game and have it be like this continual thing that is the same on the PlayStation 4 and the PC. I mean, we got a lot of questions from existing Warframe fans who said, can I play my account on PS4?
Right.
Can I play cross-platform? Can I play at work and, you know, drain the productivity of the company I work for and then come home and play it on the couch? So those are things that we love to let players do. And in order to achieve that, we'd have to make sure that they're the same system.
Gotcha.
That's a long answer for a short question.
But a good one.
Very well.
Thumbs up.
Very well said. I believe we have another question.
Another one?
All right.
Go ahead.
Send us
we have
some more.
another one from Karima Mine 65. Asks, how many maps will be in the game?
How many maps will be in the game?
I don't know if they're really maps.
Well,
really.
yeah. So, like I kind of briefly mentioned at the start, the way maps work is we use chunks like Diablo, and we reassemble them procedurally on the fly, and that makes the game very small to download, very quick to download, and it makes it.
No purpose. No call to wake you. But now, seeds have burst from the ruin you left. The Grineer are spreading. They hunt for the one thing that could destroy them. You.
Lost in weak me, Boris. Moon. Let's go. I got caught. Tenno Garagramune Takram. Hey, Graka!